What exactly is a dump dinner? I know, maybe not the best name for a type of meal or food that you prepare for your family, but maybe it got your attention and maybe now you're curious, like, what is a dump dinner? We love dump dinners. I make them all the time, so much so that I even ended up writing an entire cookbook with dump dinners. So a dump dinner, simply put, is where you're dumping ingredients into some sort of a cooking device, appliance, pot, and letting the cooking happen. So they are very hands-off, very minimal prep, and in the end, you get a delicious dump dinner to feed your family. I'm gonna share an example of a dump dinner with you here today. We're gonna prep it for the freezer. At my house and in my kitchen, we typically do dump dinners as freezer meals or part of a freezer meal prep. I will break all of that down for you here in a minute, explaining dump dinners, a little bit more about this cookbook and the MyFreezEasy method and how that works. Help get your freezer stocked full of these easy dump dinners that don't require any cooking ahead of time. You can get through 6 to 10 meals in 20 to 30 minutes prep time and getting them in your freezer that you can then drop them into the slow cooker, Instant Pot, even the grill later on. So we're going to get to it now with prepping a creamy ranch chicken and potato dinner that will cook in the slow cooker. A dump dinner for the freezer. It's gonna start with getting our bag holders and our baggies ready. Sometimes I use plastic baggies like this. Sometimes I use silicone bags, but all of my silicone bags that I have are already in the freezer. So it starts with an open baggie like we have here, and then we start dumping ingredients in. For this recipe in particular, I'm just gonna add the chicken right out of the package. And because we're gonna slow cook this later into a sauce, I'm gonna shred it after it's cooked. So I don't need to cut it, I don't need to slice it, I don't need to do anything, because after it slow cooks, it'll be really easy to shred it up into the sauce. The next ingredient that I'm gonna dump in, baby potatoes. This is just baby gold potatoes. When I am freezing a meal like this that includes potatoes, I'm either gonna use canned potatoes, drained off, or I'm gonna use these baby potatoes and keep them whole, because when you cut a potato, then freeze it, then cook it, it is going to oxidize and you are not going to like how it looks. It's perfectly fine to eat, but it doesn't necessarily look the best because it is oxidized. The next ingredient that we're dumping in, ranch dressing mix. I'm using this jarred version. I'm gonna use the rest of what's left in this jar. I want about 2 tablespoons. And I can tell by looking at the jar and what was left, that was about 2 tablespoons. Now we have dumped that ingredient in. The next ingredient that we're gonna dump in is a cream of mushroom soup. We had to kick the dog out. He's being extra today. The next ingredient that we're gonna dump in is a cream of mushroom soup, and I am gonna try and kind of spread this out. Now, could I pre-mix this in a bowl with the milk and the ranch? Absolutely. Am I? No. And I'm not, because 1, I need this to be a dump dinner and I want to show you how this works. And 2, because this sauce, the milk and the cream of mushroom soup, is going to combine later on in the slow cooker and be just fine in the end. So you really don't need to whisk this all together into a bowl. If you would like to, by all means, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you, but it does bring it out of the sort of category of being a dump dinner where we're just dumping ingredients into a bag or a tray or a pot or whatever. The idea here is quick and simple, and so I'm trying to keep it that way for you here. Okay, last but not least, I'm gonna pour in a cup of milk, which is a little bit less than a can's worth, but that is going to thin out with the rest of the sauce as this slow cooks the day away. So this dinner is done. This dump dinner is prepped. This dump dinner is ready to go in the freezer. Get this out of the way. Okay, so to close this up for the freezer, I'm just going to roll it, press as much air as I can out of here. There's a hole still here in the edge. I'm gonna press as much air out of there as I can, and watch this. I can even, because I've sealed it in this sort of almost airtight way, I can almost mix it in here. Look at that. Ha! Amazing. So basically it's now mixed and I didn't have to use a bowl or a whisk and get all of that dirty. So this is a perfect example of a dump dinner that is going to be delicious. So now I'm going to get this into the freezer and share a little bit more about the dump dinners resources that we have on the $5 dinners and MyFreezEasy websites. With the MyFreezEasy method, which is our freezer meal program to help you spend less money on groceries and also have dinner ready and waiting in the freezer, we generally do 2 meals at a time. So I would have made 2 of these to put into the freezer. That's how all of our freezer meal plans are structured, so that you can get 2 meals worth. While you're making one, you might as well make it a second one. And then if you're gonna do 6 or 8 meals, you would use 3 to 4 recipes, each doubled, to get those 6 to 8 meals. That's the MyFreezEasy method. That's the most efficient way to do freezer meals that we have found over the years. Then you can just grab one from the freezer, grab another one from the freezer 2 or 3 times a week, and over a month's time, you have used up those 8 freezer meals that you put into the freezer. Making 40 meals at once, 20 meals at once, it's a lot, it's too much. You never wanna be in the kitchen again. So that's why we recommend doing 6 to 8 meals at a time with MyFreezEasy. So dump dinners is one of our most popular cookbooks. It's one of our most popular categories in our web app, and I wanna share a little bit more about this cookbook as well as the different options that we have available. First, you should know the Dump Dinners cookbook is available on Amazon, as all of our other freezer meal cookbooks are. But when you get it from our store, we will email you the PDFs that are included at the back of the book. And we also have some other options with other gadgets and goodies to go with it. So if you order the Dump Dinners cookbook from our website, I will email you the 2 freezer meal plans that are in the back of the book that you can print out and then use in your kitchen to make 10 meals. So it'd be an example, a recipe like this, plus 4 other recipes, double everything to make 10 meals. There's 2 of those in the back of this cookbook. We also have a labels kit, where if you order the book and labels kit, you get the book as well as all of the sticker labels, these peel off, that go onto the meals that you make. And these sticker labels are coordinated with the meals that are laid out in the back of the cookbook here. So that's an option to get the book and labels kit from our store. And we also have a prep kit where you get the book, the labels, you get a meal planning tear pad that is magnetic that can go on your fridge, as well as a set of 2 bag holders that I was using earlier when prepping this meal. We do them a set of 2 because normally we would do 2 of these creamy ranch chicken and potato meals at the same time. So you can dump in ingredients for 2 dump dinners at a time when doing your freezer meal prep like we have here. If you're curious about any of this, check it out. We have it all available in our online store. The links are in the description below. Okay, Erin, that's great, but what if I don't want to do the whole freezer meal thing? Okay, a dump dinner works just the same in an appliance, in this case in my slow cooker. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and this either could be frozen or thawed out if I did freeze this, but let's just pretend that instead of dumping all the ingredients into this bag, I went ahead and dumped them into my slow cooker and let it take care of the cooking for today. If you are going to cook this meal from frozen, you're gonna need to cook it on low for 8 hours to give the meat enough time to thaw. But because this is all fresh, nothing's been frozen here, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on high for 4 or 6 hours, and it will be ready to go for our dinner tonight. I wanna share, this is just a slow cooker. You could also cook this in the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot is also great for dumping ingredients in and letting it pressure cook to perfection. Same with the slow cooker, dump ingredients together. Nothing's pre-cooked, you're just adding sauces and meats and maybe veggies, in this case potatoes, adding all of that together and letting it take care of the cooking for you. We also have a number of dump and bake kind of recipes on the $5 Dinners blog and in the MyFreezEasy app. One of my favorites is a Greek chicken. You add chicken breast, a little lemon juice and olive oil with some oregano, and then some favorite Greek style toppings, grape tomatoes, artichoke hearts that are already cut up from the can. You can see you're just kind of dumping all this together. Olives, dump some olives in, sprinkle them into the bake, And then after you bake it and the chicken is cooked through, you can just sprinkle a little feta cheese onto the top of it and you have this beautiful Greek chicken bake recipe as well. I will include the link for that recipe in the description below as well. You can also do grilled style recipes where you're just adding meat and marinades. I love that sort of quick sort of dump style dinner where you can just throw some other side dishes or salads depending on what you're doing, especially if you freeze the meat with the sauce and then it marinates as it freezes and then it marinates as it thaws. You have this beautiful meat and sauce kind of combination that you can grill up later. So that's another easy sort of dump style dinner slash meal starter that you could do as well. All right, there's some ideas for you on dump style dinners. I'm gonna go ahead and get this plugged in and cooking so that we can enjoy this easy dump dinner for our dinner. Again, I have all of the ideas, resources, recipes I shared here linked in the description below. So be sure to check that out. Give these dump dinners a try. Order the Dump Dinners cookbook and you'll see just what a gift and a blessing this type of dump dinner can be in your kitchen and your cooking routine. Here we have our creamy ranch chicken with baby potatoes. I just added a touch more ranch seasoning on top and a pinch of salt. And now we're ready to enjoy our super easy dump dinner that I cooked in the slow cooker. So that's dump dinners for you in a quick video. I hope that that was helpful and I hope that you learned something new. If you did, please click the like button and of course subscribe to our channel. We're sharing new cooking videos, freezer cooking videos, Is It Worth It series, Cook Dinner With Me. We have all kinds of videos coming out all the time, so you're gonna wanna subscribe so you don't miss another video and recipe idea for your meal plan. All right, my friends, it's bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.